Hello, my dear students. Today I'll be dealing with the topic on the organization, the meaning, nature, characteristics, and functions. As we all know that administration is a cooperative effort of a group of people in pursuit of a common objective, and the group should be organized in order to attain the desired goals. And for the administration, organization is considered to be an essential element so that it can facilitate the proper utilization of men, material, and money for the accomplishment of the defined purpose. There can be no administration without an organization. It is prior to every administrative action, and no administrative action can be implemented without an organization. So, by this thing, you could understood the importance of what organization is. So when you look into the public administration, the administration on one part, that is the management, that comes, the organization is on the other part, which goes hand in hand together. Coming to the meaning of the organization, Dimmock, he stated that organization is the basic tool by means of which the administrative process is kept operating. The term organization is used in at least three different meanings, namely the designing the administrative structure, planning the scheme of the structure and appointing the suitable personnel to it, and resulting the administrative structure itself. So when you see the picture there, public administration has been given in a different aspects, how public administration helps the local government or the federal departments, the non-profit organizations, educational institutions, international relations, and urban planner. So public administration plays a very important role, and for that administration to run, we need the organization. Organization is the work of connecting interdependent parts so that each has a special function, act, office, or relation to the whole. When we look into the words of L.D. White, organization is an arrangement of personnel for facilitating the accomplishment of some agreed purpose through allocation of functions and responsibilities. So, Pfiffner was also given the definition for organization, where he states that it consists of the relationship of the individual to individual and a group to a group, which are so related as to bring about an orderly division of labor. So you can see there the goals, the team, idea, strategy, innovation, business plan, competition, performance. All these things are an important part as far as the organization is concerned, so that the administration will run in a smooth manner. So the previous definitions, the definition for the organization has been also given by Luther Gulick, Millward, and Gladden. You can have a look at this screen. So these are the different logos of the various organizations, the important organizations like the Google or HCL or Infosys, Titan, Coca-Cola. These are the logos. These are the organizations which runs the administration. So for any organization there is a structure. Each and every organization has a structure so that they can attain their own goals of achieving their own targets. Coming into the characteristics of organization, Nicholas Henry has summarized in the following manner. Purposeful and complex human activities. It has been characterized by secondary relationship, specialized and limited goals, characterized by sustained cooperative activity, integrated within a larger social system, provide service and products to their environment, and the last one is dependent upon exchange with their environment. So the nature of organization, in the words of L.D. White, he has identified three primary elements like persons, combined efforts, and a common purpose. In olden days, organization was simple because human society was in its primitive stage. But the relationship pattern in the old simple organization was different from what it is today. There have been many factors at work which have influenced and added to the complexity of modern organizations. So you can look over there that the changing nature of organizations, when you see the traditional organization, the features or It was stable in nature, inflexible, job focused, permanent jobs, or rule oriented. Workday has boundaries, hierarchical relationship, work in office during specific hours. But when coming into the new organization, we are living in a globalized economy where the organization should be dynamic, flexible, skill focused, temporary jobs, customer oriented. Workday has no boundaries, networked relationships, work anywhere and anytime. So by this you could understand the difference between the traditional and the new organizations. When you see the nature of the modern organizations, they include the liberation of the individual in our social philosophy and policies, the development of new understandings of the nature of human cooperation, the broadening range of organization goals, the movement towards the task specialization. Therefore, we can say that the organizations are social entities, and as such, they are subject to the same kinds of influence, pressure, prejudices, and biases as any of the social organisms. Modern organization. You can look over there that the world today consists of many organizations, and they range from making profits by commercial activities to providing information to citizens. For example, the Tata Motor of India is a commercial organization that makes cars, trucks, automobiles. Indian Railway is a government organization where it manages massive operation by information system for achieving their goals. Coming into the basis of organization, there are 4 bases. Number 1, function or purpose, process, clientele or commodity, area or place or geography. As far as the function of the organization is concerned, when the organization is built up on the basis of the nature of functions to be performed, it is said to be organized on functional basis. And we are all seeing that most of the organizations in the modern governments follow functional principles because it is useful in giving comprehensive service to the people. In India, many departments of the government like health, education, defense, labor, etc. are organized on these principles. So the functions of the organization, as far as we understand from all these things what we have seen before, it consists of the planning, organizing, controlling and leading. Coming into the process of the organization, it is a technique or primary skill of a specialized type. Engineering, accounting, medical care, legal care, etc. are examples of this base. When an organization is built upon the nature of activity, more or less specialized, it is said to have been organized on the principle of process. The good examples of such kind of organizations are the Ministry of Law and Justice, Urban Development, Housing, and many more. There are certain steps in the organizing process of an organization. So you can look over there. There are around 8 steps. You can have a look there, that fixing the objectives or identifying the activities, grouping the activities, defining responsibilities, delegating authorities to the employees, defining authority relationship, providing the employees all requirements and the coordinating efforts. The next process of the organization is a clientele. The next major base is the clientele. It means the body of the persons to be served. Sometimes some social groups have some social problems which require the particular attention of the government. So, when a department is established to meet the special problems of a section of the community, the basis of such department is said to be clientele or persons served. In India, the Department of Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribes and the Department of Rehabilitation are organized on this principle. So you can see there the clientele of the modern organizations which identify the customers, satisfy the customers, and the most important thing is the retaining the customers. Coming into the area or territory of the organization, it spreads over a large area, and it is a fact that the government cannot conduct the whole business from a single place. Naturally, it has to decentralize many of its departments and locate them in the different parts of the state. So the best example would be the Ministry of External Affairs for this kind of base of an organization. So the geographic structure of organization can be clearly determined by the slide you are seeing now. the regional operations, how it has been divided into the different chapters. So by now you would have understood the nature, the characteristics, the functions or the basis of the organization, which is the most important part of an administration. So coming to the conclusion, in fact, no single principle can be said to be complete the organization. If we examine the formation of various organizations, we can find that all the four principles have been at work. No single factor can be decisive throughout the entire organization. One factor may help us to decide at one point, another factor may be useful at another point, but at every point, one determinant must be balanced against another. So, when all these things are taken into consideration, the organization will achieve the objectives so that the administrative structure will be more efficient in order to serve the members of the society. Thank you very much, and I'll see you all in the next video with another important topic.